everybody's all jealous and shit.
Welcome to another episode of the Curtis Zone. I know that this is very short notice, but I want everybody to watch, listen, learn, and of course remember to hit the like, subscribe, and share button for more content here on the Curtis Zone, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to get in that comment section and really get into it, okay? Because today is yet another episode leading up to the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. We are talking about the characters outside of the Marvel Universe who are smart enough to defeat Dr. Doom, and today we're doing it on Batman. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to make a request, just get in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you guys. Alright? Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get started, as always, news. The first piece of news from the world of DC, it has been reported that and rumored that the Batman, the Brave and the Bold is also secretly a Batman in the Outsiders movie, which will include the return of Metamorpho, the new appearance of Katana, and the new appearance of an upcoming character, Black Lightning. So I hope that everyone's ready for it because it's looking like Brave and the Bold. We're gonna get Henry Cavill to play Batman, and again, that is just a rumor. Nothing is set in stone. The next piece of news from the upcoming He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, it is being reported that actors Idris Elba and Alison Brie have finished their filming for the film. So it's looking like we're gonna get a release date very, very soon. I hope that everyone's ready for it because it's looking like they're gonna stay true to the original 1980s version of the series. So yeah, there's that. The final piece of news is this. I am currently in final talks with GameStop to release 3 free copies of Double Dragon Revive for PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox. So, yeah, wait for that. Hope it goes well, guys. Now, let's get started with this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We have asked ourselves, is Batman smart enough to defeat Dr. Doom? Can he outsmart Dr. Doom? And Batman has had a lot of feats of intellect, not just in comic books, but also in video games, animated television, movies. The list goes on for days, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to understand if Batman can defeat Dr. Doom, we have to go through some of Batman's feats of intelligence throughout the years, starting with the Tower of Babel storyline. I know I talk about it a lot, but it's still important to talk about due to the fact that the Tower of Babel storyline, in this storyline, Batman created the contingency plans to neutralize members of the Justice League should they go to the dark side or succumb to mind control. Why is that important? Because he's the only person who's ever done it in all of DC. Yeah, I mean all of DC. He even found a way to neutralize Mr. Terrific's technology, which is no minor feat, my friends. Now, another feat of Batman's best forms of intellect is when he reverse engineered Mr. Freeze's technology. He reverse engineered Mr. Freeze's cryo gun and cryo grenades to use against heat-based villains. And I saw that when he was going up against Clayface in the Batman Arkham games, which is pretty awesome, my friends. Who liked that? Who played the Batman Arkham games? Another thing that we need to talk about is the fact that Batman can identify the technology in anything. He once identified the servo mechanics in Batman Beyond. He once identified the servo mechanics, the same servo mechanics that makes up Terry McGinnis' own suit, which is pretty impressive. The servo mechanics were actually used in a human body, which is, so yeah, there's that. That's pretty cool. Moving into Batman animated movies, the one thing I want to talk about that was make him pretty smart is the fact that he's also a pretty brilliant detective as well. Who could forget in Batman Mystery of the Batwoman when he found out who the Batwoman is? For those of you who haven't seen it, spoiler alert, it's 3 different women. See, you got, one of them had the money, one of them had the technology, one of them had the scheme. It was pretty cool, okay? And Batman figured it out, and he was like, and I was like, whoa, what was that? Whoa. Another feat of his intellect is in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, when it was found out that Batman was using Johnny Quick to open a portal between the second Earth and Earth Prime. However, this aged Johnny Quick up so much that he practically died. And Johnny Quick then said, "You knew this was going to happen," and Batman just gave him that look that said yes, and Johnny Quick was like, good one. This proves that Batman is so smart that he knows how to kill people without actually killing people. Think about that for a second. He knows how to kill people without actually killing people. Yeah. Going back to the Tower of Babel storyline, this is the storyline that was used in Justice League Doom. However, here's another feat of his intellect that we need to talk about. Batman's computers were hacked, and whenever Batman's computers are hacked, they call home. Basically, this means that if you hack into Batman's computer, it sets up like a tracking dummy so that he knows where you're hacking him from. Imagine that for a second. If you were to hack into the Bat computer, he knows where you are, he can get back his stuff, and he can beat your ass. Yeah, just think about that for a second. Now, my favorite thing that he did, what happened in Batman versus Dracula. Get this, and think about this for a second. He created a cure for vampirism. I mean, just think about that for a second. You know how hard it is to cure vampirism? He did as much research as possible, and he created a cure for vampirism. So, yeah, just think about that for a second. He was able to cure vampirism, and he was able to outsmart and outmaneuver vampires who are faster, stronger, and more agile than him. Yeah, just think about that for a second. That's pretty awesome. The next feat of Batman's intellect happened in Batman Unlimited Animal Instincts, when he successfully reverse engineered and hacked into Penguin's robots who are supposed to be unhackable. So, yeah, and then he turned one of Penguin's robots into a motorcycle. So think about that for a second. Robots that are designed to be unhackable, he hacked into them and reverse engineered them and turned one of them into a motorcycle all within 2 hours. So yeah, think about that for a second. Batman is also a very smart businessman as well, which is why in Batman Unlimited Mechs vs. Mutants, it was found out that he was spending some of his money, that he was hiding some of his money to build a giant robot. So yeah, think about that for a second. He has his own giant robot. I'm not talking about the Batbot, I'm talking about an actual giant robot. So, I'm thinking about that for a second, okay? Just think about that for a second. Speaking of his intelligence as a businessman, Batman has stated that he finds that in business and in life, it helps to know who you're doing business with, which is why he met Tatsu Yamashiro, aka Katana. He found out everything that there is to know about Katana in 5 seconds. He found out that Katana was Alfred's goddaughter. I thought that was pretty cool because that proves how much not only what a great detective he is, but also what a great businessman he is. Yeah, there's that. The next piece of intellect when it comes to Batman is in the latest incarnation of Power Rangers versus the DC Universe, when it was found out that Batman was able to hack in and gain access to the morphing grid, not just for himself, but for the entire Bat family. Just think about that for a second. The morphing grid, which is buried so deep within the internet that it practically doesn't exist, he was able to hack into and gain access and use it to create the Bat Family Power Rangers. Yeah, just think about that for a second, okay? That was pretty impressive. The final piece of Batman's intellect happened in the Injustice games, more specifically in Injustice 2, when Batman was able to talk Firestorm into creating something called Gold Kryptonite, which took away Superman's powers. Not only that, he also created a suit that was completely comprised of green kryptonite, which he used to beat the crap out of Superman. That was pretty cool. That's just me talking, but that was pretty cool. So the main overall question that we are asking here is if Batman is smart enough to defeat Dr. Doom. I say maybe. With enough prep time, I say that maybe, yes, he could defeat him. However, this is just my opinion. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but this is just my opinion. Put your own opinion in the comment section down below, and we'll talk about it, alright? Get in the comment section and really get in on the conversation, everybody. And just like that, another episode has come to a screeching close, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to get in that comment section down below and tell me your opinion of if Batman can defeat Dr. Doom. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button while you're at it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you guys will come back soon for another episode of the Curtis Zone, alright? Hope to see you soon. Peace. Because as you know, next episode is going to be pretty cool.